It was a short flight, so I got down there ASAP.
ASAP. So the 49ers have had some injuries at the running back position. You had remained on the open market. Just what was it like during that time where, you're a free agent in March and you didn't know until basically the third week of the preseason of training camp where you'd be going?
It wasn't stressful at all, honestly. I just had such a peace about it all. I knew I would be on the team. I was confident in that. I was really just waiting for the right opportunity. I had some other teams reach out. I actually worked out for the Jets, was one of them. But before that, doing OTAs, I had a couple of teams reach out, and I didn't think it would be a good fit, so I kind of turned it down. And then worked out for the Jets. I never worked out for a team, so I wanted to kind of get a feel for what that was, as well as just I don't know, just let people know, like, hey, I'm still healthy. I'm okay, So, but we didn't come to terms up there. But then Kyle called, and they talked with my agents and stuff, and I thought it was a really good opportunity. So I was like, you know what, I'm going. So that's basically what I was waiting on, was the opportunity, and it came. So I wasn't panicked. I wasn't stressful. If that was the case, I would have jumped on the first team that came, but I was really waiting for the right opportunity, and I think this was the right opportunity.
So when you say you never worked out for a team, you did before the draft, I'm sure.
No, actually, I did, honestly.
Yeah.
Actually, the coach from the running back coach came down from KC before I got drafted, and we worked out at my school, and then I went on a visit. But that was my only workout, and that really wasn't a workout. I just wanted to see me take some handoffs and do a few other things. So it was really simple. It was just a running back coaching me, and it was really good. But that was the first time I actually worked out with a group of guys, and there was some talented guys there as well. So it definitely was a different part of the process for me. Like, my career has been interesting, go start in the first 4 years of my career to, all the way down to inactive, backing up, then inactive, and then being a free agent a second time, and, not getting picked up right away. So it's been an interesting journey, but I've remained confident knowing that, like, I know I still have a lot to give. I know there's opportunity, and I know I'll be on the team.
Yeah, an interesting journey. You entered the NFL in 2012, sixth-round draft pick out of Florida Atlantic, and it were the Shanahans drafted you.
Yes, sir.
Mike Shanahan, the head coach, Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator. And those first 2 years, with the Shanahans, absolutely fantastic. Right?
Yeah.
2,800 yards rushing, more than 2,800 yards rushing combined, 20 touchdowns. What was it about that offensive system or that situation that really enabled you to flourish in your first two NFL seasons?
I think it's because they believed in me, really. That's something I didn't know about coming in, because I kind of became a starter right away, and I didn't have like a veteran to kind of show me the ropes, in a sense, for the most part. So just knowing that, like, I was a guy, that they were going to give me opportunities to be successful. And when they left, I didn't have that. I was another coaching staff, so another, front office's guy, in a sense. So I kind of lost that. And I still was starting, but you can see how it kind of, like, even my play kind of diminished, because the opportunities just weren't there like they were when I was with the Shanahans, who drafted me, who believed in me, who gave me those opportunities to be successful. So I think that was the biggest difference, because the schemes were similar, but at the same time, I feel like just the opportunities to, like, hey, we're going to feed you, you're our guy, and just to have that makes a world of a difference.
And it wasn't only the Shanahans. It wasn't just Kyle Shanahan. It was also your running backs coach, Bobby Turner, who is also the 49ers running backs coach. What distinguishes Bobby Turner from, you're laughing, what distinguishes him from some of the other running backs coaches?
He has a saying that says, they broke the mold when they made me, and it's literally true. He's have you ever met him?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
He's a one-of-a-kind guy. He's a no-nonsense. He's going to tell you exactly how it is. He doesn't sugarcoat. A lot of guys tell, like, coaches, or, just through my career from high school to college to even dealing with different running back coaches in the pros, they talk about being honest and, being open and having that open door. Bobby's door is always open, and he's going to tell you exactly how he is. If you stink, he's going to tell you stink. If you're doing good, he's going to pat you on the back. He's not going to sugarcoat. He's not going to be your friend. He's going to coach you, and he wants the best. But at the same time, it's more than just football with him. It's about life as well. He loves us as players, but he loves us more as individuals. We're like sons to him, and you can see that in his coaching. You see that in his demeanor, how he carries himself, because he really cares about it. And it's not all about football. He gives us life lessons, and I respect that, and I love that about Bobby T.
Is he a guy that you were able to keep in contact contact with even when you weren't with Bobby Turner?
Yes, I was. I would always keep in contact. A lot of his running backs, he had a saying when he was in Washington. He would always say, "Y'all gonna miss the old man when he's gone." It was true because when he was gone, we missed the crap out of him, and
there were probably times when you're with him, you're like, "Get me away from this guy." But once you get away, you're like,
you really do miss him. You appreciate the kind of guy that he is, and like you never really know what you have till it's gone. So, and that's one of the things with Bobby T. I mean, all his running backs keep in touch. Well, not all of them, but I think a majority of them do. And I would he would text me on Father's Day. I would text him, on different occasions, Happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, things like that. We always keep in touch, and don't write him a book. Now I just keep it real short and simple. I try not to bother him during football season, but we did keep in contact.
What is it about his coaching? What is it about Kyle Shanahan's offense that makes you such a good fit? And I mean, people can say, well, it's just a running back is a running back, but Carlos Hyde, a very good running back, but he didn't really fit what the 49ers were trying to do here last year. So what is it about you that is such a good fit for this scheme?
I've always been a patient runner and with really good vision. And I think just having that, not with the east-west type stuff like side to side, but more it's like one cut, get downhill, and just make guys miss or run through guys, break tackles, that type of stuff. You can thrive in this offense. They say everybody does good, running 1,000 yards, and it's like, no, they don't. Mm-hmm. Not everybody's good. And there's been plenty of running backs who came in this system who were not successful. And another thing helps that I was groomed in it for, I started out in this offense, and this is kind of like what I know. And so I'm really comfortable running it. The zone was outside, inside. I'm comfortable doing a lot of the stuff that Kyle did because I was trained my first 2 years in it, so it's kind of like I was like riding a bike. You haven't rode in a long time. You may be a little rusty, maybe wobbly, but once you're like, oh, I know this. I get back on the bike and ride. It's like day one.
So you joined the team in Houston. You immediately become integrated into the team. You're taking handoffs in practice. What was it like stepping back? Was it like riding a bike? Was it did Kyle, did Coach Turner, did they just treat you like you were back in 2013 in Washington again?
No, they didn't, but they did say it was the opportunity and they wanted me. So they didn't throw me back into the fire. They let me get my feet wet. So I didn't play in the game. In practice, I didn't take many reps as I was in shape, but I wasn't in football shape. Mm-hmm. So,
but you took some reps.
I did, but they were not the type of reps I take. Like I literally my legs were not underneath me. Okay. So, because it takes adjustment, and with the humidity, it did not help. So, I mean, I was going down like one person will kind of clip my leg and I'll fall. I don't go down like that. So, so that's just not me. That's not the type of runner I am. And Coach, he noticed that, and he's like, but they just let me get a chance to get my feet. And even this week, it was like, we'll let you get your feet underneath you, and then, we'll go from there. So instead of just throwing me all in it, they kind of gave me, a little bite here, a bite here. Instead of giving me a full plate and like go, they was like, okay, we're going to ease you into this. So I'm really thankful for that because in Houston, I did get an opportunity to get my legs underneath me, and we just had walk through and just running around. I feel a lot better. I feel stronger and more stable on my legs as well. So I'm excited about just practice, and I'm excited about the game come Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to use a term that's a horrible term, but people use this term, camp body. It's clear to me that they have enough respect for you that they just wanted to have brought you in here to be a camp body. You're here because there's going to be a spot for you on the 53-man roster, or at least there's that opportunity.
There's opportunity. That's what it is. I'm not saying like I'm guaranteed a spot because I'm not. There's a lot of talent in this running back room. So what's guaranteed is an opportunity. What I do with that opportunity is on me. So whatever I do, whether I make the great opportunity or I spoil this opportunity, it's on me. But I have to live with that at the end of the day. But they said it's an opportunity. It's not, hey, there's a spot on the roster, take it. I have to earn it. But they're giving me the opportunity to at least go earn a spot on this 53-man roster. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
You are a different style than the guys who are considered the top two running backs on the roster. Mm-hmm. Two guys, Jerick McKinnon and Matt Breida, who won't be available until the start of the regular season. Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to kind of watch them? Have you watched practice film of them, game film of them, to kind of know their styles and how you might be able to complement them?
No, I haven't, honestly. When they get back on the field, then I'll start, and I kind of get an idea of that. But right now, the guys that are in there are J-Mac, Joe just went down, unfortunately, and Raheem.
So you got you're talking Jeremy McNichols, Raheem Mostert, mm-hmm. The young guy Jeff Wilson, and then as you mentioned Joe Williams. a fourth-round draft pick last year, sustained a broken rib, and so he's going to be out for a while too. So you're trying to kind of get to know those guys.
Yeah. But I mean, I've definitely, not as a player on the field, but off the field, I have been, chatting with Jarek and chatting with Matt. Really great guys. Matt is really sharp. He's a smart guy. Jarek, I've been around Matt more than Jarek, so I think Jarek, if he wasn't a smart guy, heck of a player, he wouldn't be here. I mean, I remember seeing him at when he was in Minnesota, but as of right now, I haven't paid much attention to that game. I watched film on them, but once they get back, then I'll kind of see how we can kind of play off each other.
Kind of interesting. I mean, the running backs here, both Jarek McKinnon and Matt Breida from Georgia Southern. You're from Florida Atlantic. Not high. Division I schools. Well, you might disagree with that, but
no, bottom of the barrel.
But is there something about kind of having that chip on your shoulder and having something to prove?
I've always one of those guys like, I don't have a chip. I don't need the chip, because I feel like I didn't. But just what I've been going through these last 3 years since my last year in Washington, I have a chip on my shoulder. But it's a different type of chip, I feel like, for most guys. I just feel like a lot has been taken from me. A lot of opportunities have been missed, and I was like, I'm gonna get all of that back and then some, So that's just my mindset coming in, is like, I have a chip, not to have anything to prove, but I'm just any opportunity I get, I'm gonna make the most of it, because my career has definitely changed from how I started to how it is now, but that's not how it's gonna end. My whole goal is to get back to where I was, having this opportunity, having coaching staff who wants me here, who I can respect that and I appreciate that, and it makes me that much more hungry to go out there and make the most of the opportunity.
Alfred, what kind of car are you driving these days?
So I still have my 91 Mazda 66.
You still have it?
I still have it. I don't know if it's going to make the trip out here, honestly.
Can it make the trip? Do you
think it could definitely make the trip? I'm not really sure about like California and the emissions and that type of stuff.
Okay.
It passes in Texas, but I feel like here it's a little more strict. So it's an older car, and I don't want to chance, not big having it shipped all the way over not to drive it. So I'm still debating. I'm borderline, but I do have a Subaru now that I drive. Out of all cars,
What year?
I get a Subaru. It's 18. So I just recently got the Subaru.
Does your 91 Mazda, is it jealous of that Subaru?
Oh no, I take care of the Bentley. I take care of my baby. So still washer, still a driver, but when weather's not perfect, I definitely like to drive the all-wheel drive. So, but I still drive my baby. That's still my primary
Let's tell
car.
the story about the 1991 Mazda.
Okay.
You got it your junior year?
Oh, I got it like the summer before my senior year. So I spent one semester on campus with it.
You bought it for how much?
$2.
$2.
Yeah, so it was. I wanted to pay more. He's like, $2. Take
and
it or
this is
leave
your
it.
pastor?
It was a pastor at the church I was attending to at the time, and I really needed a car. I didn't want a car. I needed a car. And I would walk everywhere. People would offer rides, and then when I did call them for a ride, they were busy. So if they weren't busy, they was probably playing video games.
Those are air quotes, busy.
Yeah. So I just never got an opportunity, and I just like, you know what, Lord, I want a car. Like, I need a car. Like, I'm tired of depending on other people. So this opportunity came, to have a car, pay for $2. It wasn't much, But at the same time, to me, it was an answered prayer. And I was like, you know what? I could turn my nose up and be like, no, I don't want that. But I was like, you know what? This is my car. I'm going to take ownership of it, and it's mine. And I've had it ever since. And it's been my primary car. Still is my primary car, but eventually it's going to become my weekend roamer. I'm going to have to retire eventually. I can't drive forever, even though I'm going to try my best to. So, but she's part of the family. I call it the Bentley. I love it. And it might have to stay in Texas. It'll be the first team I'll go to. It may not. Still an option.
Are you experiencing separation anxiety?
No, I'm not. She's taken care of. She's in the garage. I have a neighbor who started up here and there, to keep her going.
And Mazda refurbished it for you, right?
Yes, Mazda did refurbish.
They heard about your story, and they said, this is awesome.
They put a lot of money into the DC Mazda area dealers. They put a lot of effort and time and money into it, and I will forever be thankful, because she's running strong. And even the Mazda dealership in Denton, Texas, they did some extra work on it for me as well. I think I had like little minor stuff like refill the Freon and things like that. So they helped me out as well. So
it's symbolic of something, isn't it?
It just reminds me where I came from, never to forget where I came from, but also to remember where I'm going. I don't want to dwell in the past. My upbringing was this, I had this, that, and the other, but to appreciate that, to appreciate where you are now, but to remember where you're going, because this is not the end for me. It's like I said, it's just the beginning, and I always want to remember where I came from, but remember where I'm going. So I love that car. I keep it, and it is definitely symbolic.
So tell me about your background. Where did you come from?
I came from Pensacola, Florida. I grew up in and I actually, we call it Pearl Street, but it's Pearl Street, but the area was called Golden. It was a contaminated area, so they ended up moving all of us out of there.
Contaminated with?
We had a railroad track. Yeah, it was environmental. It was a railroad track up the road, and somehow all the soil was contaminated or something like that. So they moved us all out. It was only 2 streets. My neighborhood was literally 2 streets. We call it Front Street and Back Street. So grew up dirt poor. I have 6 brothers. It wasn't great upbringing. I mean, it was a great upbringing, but it wasn't. Most people be like, "Man, how'd you grow up like that?" On government aid, my parents worked 40+ hours a week, so it's not like we were just trying to collect government aid. They worked their butts off, and they taught us a lot of lessons in that. We didn't have much, like Christmas. We didn't really have presents under the tree, especially as we got older. We didn't have presents. It was just a time to get together as a family. So it just made us appreciate family that much more. So we're really close, really tight. We're always there for each other. We always have each other back because we didn't have much, but we had each other. And just growing up like that, it just made me appreciate the little things. But it also made me, it goes back to remember where I came from, where I want to go. It just a little kid in that's all I know. I was like, there has to be more to life than this. There has to be, better out there. And it kind of set this fire off me to strive for better, to go chase my dreams. And right now I just happen to be a football player, and that's okay. But this is not an end goal for me, because this is just an experience. This football thing will end at some point, whether it be for health, whether it be, declining play, whether it be age, whatever. I'm gonna have to stop playing this game. So just using this to launch to whatever is next for me. So, and always remember where I came from. So.
I'm sure you've heard about this study that was done, and it was about a decade ago or so in a Sports Illustrated article. They talked about, and I'm not sure exactly the methodology to come up with this number, but they wrote that 78% of former NFL players went bankrupt or suffered financial difficulties after their careers. When you hear that, I mean, what does that make you think?
It blows my mind, but it doesn't at the same time. Because you see a lot of people's like, well, you had these tens of millions. Well, first of all, not everybody in the NFL is a millionaire. My first 4 years on a rookie contract, people think, even players in the league think I made more money than I did. I'm like, no, my first year I made $390,000. Am I complaining about that? No, because it's better than a lot of 9-to-5s out there. But at the same time, it's not much money than to you. Just because you give someone a bunch of money don't mean they know how to manage it. That's why I feel like they need to have more programs to teach these guys how to manage money. I just think of the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. It's true. You can give these guys money. That don't mean they can make the right decisions, because a lot of them don't know. A lot of these guys who played in the NFL grew up in poverty, and to give somebody who has the same mindset as when they were broke all of this money, of course they're going to end up back where they started at, for the most part. Not all of them, but the statistics, I'm not surprised at all about it. So I feel like they need to have more programs to teach guys how to manage this money, how to invest, rightly. And you got to be careful with that, because there's a lot of people trying to take from us, give. And a lot of these guys are not to say they're not educated in finances to the extent that they know how to invest in things like that. They're just ignorant to it in a sense. So,
and I think a lot of what people don't understand too is you might be making $390,000, which everyone says which is great money, but it's. I mean, your career could only be 2 years, and also when you're making that money, I mean, you're making that money. People are asking for money. You also, because of the high-profile job you have, you're going to be living in a place that's more expensive just because of security. I mean, there's so many ways that money can evaporate in a very short period of time. That isn't necessarily a matter of being financially irresponsible.
Yeah, that is what you have. Agents, you have financial advisors, you have family who ask for money, you have friends of family who ask for money. You like, okay, because everyone feels like they're almost entitled to what you have, like you said, and you have there's so much money going out. Then you have Uncle Sam as well. Can't forget Uncle Sam.
Yeah, welcome to California, by the way.
Yeah, I know. So you literally you have to almost cut it in half, if not more. And then even that, then you still have to pay, like you said, you pay for your living expenses. So all that stuff adds up, and before you know it, sometimes I look back, I'm like, man, where did all that money go? But it went to places, some good, some not so good, depends on how you look at it. But it does. There's a lot of people pulling at you, and then when it's all gone, there's no one there, and everyone disappears. So that's tough. More money does cause more problems. It puts strains on relationships. without going too much in detail, it's just a lot that comes with having all this responsibility, having, you know, been in the NFL. Yes, your dream, but there's so much more going to that. Think about the guys who like getting cut, you know, like this is your dream, you know, you're not just getting cut from a team, you know, your dream is almost getting snatched from underneath
in
you.
a couple weeks, 37 guys
and they
on this
that rule.
90-man roster
really
will be told there's not a spot for you in the NFL.
So it's just part of the business. A lot of stuff that go on behind closed doors. A lot of people don't realize that we deal with. Some deal with it better than others.